Lucille DancingWind, the founder of Sacred Earth Connection. My guest for you today is one that you can't see unless you see movement on the water surface or on grasses and in the tree leaves, or if you see the clouds moving, because my guest is wind. And wind has many different characteristics. It can be as gentle as the breeze, or it can be as magnificent as a hurricane. It has so many beautiful roles in our environment. It's nature's gardener. It disperses seeds and enables plants to keep propagating in different environments. It's also a beautiful cleanser. It purifies our air and helps to maintain clear, breathable air so that pollution doesn't become stagnant. And it also clears heavy energies. Its sacred roles are very misunderstood, but when you're able to relate with wind in a way that you see its wholeness, you recognize how sacred it is. And it's the same with us as human beings. Oftentimes, we judge negatively our emotions that are more heavy, such as anger, and we celebrate the ones that are lighter, such as joy. However, by observing and being with the wind, we realize that we're not that much different. And when we're able to honor every aspect of ourselves, all our emotions, then we honor our truth, and we benefit everyone ultimately when it comes from a place within our hearts. Here's an example for you of a personal experience I had many years ago. I was working for a large corporation, and the department that I was in was overseen by a boss who was a bully. And it seemed that every week she would pick someone to absolutely make their life miserable for that week. And because she was our boss, we tolerated it. Until one day, when she decided to pick a very gentle soul who also had disabilities. And when this woman began to cry, that's when my gentle and calm demeanor turned into a hurricane. And I was able to remain calm and very diplomatic, but I stood up for what I believed in, and I defended this person. I stood up to this boss who was 4 times my size and very oppressive, and I reminded her of respect and how respect is something that you earn. It's not something that you automatically receive because you're in a place of authority. And it felt so good for me to finally express what I had been holding within me. I didn't do it immediately because I just felt that the people that she was picking on could defend themselves, and they could choose to do so if they wanted to. But when she picked on this really innocent spirit who didn't have the ability to defend herself, that's when I chose to step in and really defend her along with my truth. She became very afraid and promptly transferred me to another department. I became somewhat of a celebrity for having stood up to her because no one else wanted to put themselves in that position. And as far as the rest of the time that I worked there, she didn't cause any more problems with her employees. We all have within us these different characteristics, and it's so important to honor our whole selves. We always have a choice of whether to speak our truth or not, and it's highly beneficial for us to do so. And even though it might cause a storm to come up with these winds of change that we create by speaking our truth, we ultimately benefit everyone in doing so because we're coming from a place within our hearts. So this is our invitation for you today. Wind and I invite you to courageously stand up for your truth when you feel in your heart that it's the right thing to do. Some of my biggest triggers are when I see injustice or forms of oppression. That really just brings out the warrior in me and this hurricane instead of the breeze that I normally am. And it's okay. We give you permission to not always be your gentle self or proper self or well put together self. It's okay to speak your truth, to stand up for your truth, and to live your truth. It's the only thing that can make a real difference in our world, and it all begins with each one of us. And so just like the wind gets a lot of judgment from people for its different characteristics, especially the really forceful ones, ultimately they all serve a divine purpose. We've reached a time in this world where speaking our truth and standing up for our truth and living our truth is more important than ever. So we hope that this video will give you the courage to do so when you feel called to doing so. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and know others who might benefit from it, do share. Wherever you are on our magnificent Mother Earth, I send you great love.